and welcome to another episode of Fangirlz Assemble. Joining me all the way from Kentucky, Kristan. How are you doing?
Hello. You may notice Maddie's gone. We snapped and she disappeared, and we don't know what to do now.
Yeah. So send help because we have no idea where she is or what to do. We may need to find someone who has knowledge of quantum realm to get her back, but we don't know.
Is that a spoiler? I don't know.
Is it?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it?
Kristan, I don't know. We will have to go on a journey to find Maddie. But before we go on that, so here's what's happening to me. I'm kind of depressed. And when I'm usually depressed, I go and buy books. So as someone who loves comic book, where can one go to spend their depression money?
Well, especially right now, the best place to go is instocktrades.com. You can use the code Endgame for an extra 3% off everything. It ends tonight. You will want to do it tonight while you're still feeling down and you want to spend all your money. But it's the best place to go because you spend all your money and you get so many books because they're so cheap and their packing is so good and you don't have to worry about anything. And it's the best. Feels the best.
Tell us how cheap it is.
Up to 50% off, 53, I guess, with your discount code, which is lovely. And every Tuesday, that's when the new books go live. Is there something coming out next week that you're looking forward to? I know there's Nailbiter, Volume 3 hardcover. That's exciting. Quantum Age, that's the new World of Black Hammer book. I'm excited about that.
Is it the one with the Justice League?
I don't think so.
Because there's a Justice League crossover coming out. Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard about it, but has that come out yet?
I don't know.
I don't think it has. I think it's different.
Yeah. He's your guy. You should know what he's writing and what he's doing. It's not my responsibility.
I mean, I don't get those in floppies though, so I don't know what's happening. Also, I don't care about the Justice League. I'm just gonna say it right here, right now. I don't care.
You know what, Kristan? You're a fake fan. Hashtag fake fan. Like, you're not supporting.
But I love the Avengers, so that's all that matters, right?
Right. So on one of the things that's coming currently on sale and actually at 50% off is Jessica Jones, The Purple Daughter.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with Kelly Thompson, and I loved The Blind Spot, like the previous one that she did, and it kind of whoa,
she's back. Oh my gosh, Maddie, you're alive.
Hello.
I told everyone I snapped and then you disappeared.
Oh. Okay, we're good.
Yeah. So I know we were just talking about what are the books people can get on in-stock trades. So Jessica Jones, The Purple Daughter is out. True, The Search for Black Panther, that's out. Then there's also Scarlet, Volume 1, which I believe is a follow-up of the other Scarlet, or it's a new one. I don't know.
It's a new printing, I think.
Oh, it's a new printing. Okay. And then also Unlimited Wasp. Unstoppable Wasp Unlimited Volume 1 is also out. So there's so many good books out there, and you can get all of them for additional 3% off today if you use the code Endgame. So go to In-Stock Trades, and you also get Maddie, what's the free shipping? When can you get free shipping?
If you spend more than $50.
Yay! So spend more than $50, get free shipping, and then you also use the code. Now,
before we get started, I do want to give a little quick shout out and just give an update on what we're going to be planning on doing late next month. So we got really lucky and Dynamite sent us a couple of books to review.
Yes.
So I think we decided on the last weekend of May, the last Sunday of May.
Yes.
So last Sunday of May, I don't have my calendar on me. Somebody in the chat will know. Let me look at this real quick. Which is the 25th. No, that's the Saturday. 26th. May 26th. We will be reviewing Nancy Drew.
Yay!
By Kelly Thompson, which, man, when these books came in the mail, they feel so fresh. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but I was like, damn, these books are fresh. And we got sent Vampirella, the Dynamite Years Omnibus Volume 3.
On her butt.
Here it is. Here it is. But I'm really excited about this because, I've read a lot of Red Sonja, but I've never read Vampirella except for in crossovers. So
I didn't know she was an alien, so that's exciting.
I didn't know that either. I just assumed she was a vampire.
I mean, so I was telling my dad about it. I was like, I don't know about this. And he's like, did you know she was an alien? And I'm like, no.
I'm really excited because, like, looking at her, I always can't help, right, but have that initial worry that, like, okay, this is just TNA, nothing else. And that's what I worried about with Red Sonja. And then I read Red Sonja and I was like, I am so wrong about everything. And you know me, I'm a woman who loves some TNA.
No.
I know, everybody's surprised. But even then, I still have those reservations about characters, which is unfortunate. But I'm really, really excited to jump into all of this. So keep an eye out on May 26th when we talk about this.
And I'm just going to spoil one of my thoughts because I've already read Nancy Drew, and it was lovely. So
I've heard it's so good.
Because it's written by Kelly Thompson, so of course it's good.
Of course it is.
I don't understand what people even say anything else.
And I'm already a Nancy Drew fan anyways.
Are you guys
pretty excited? The movie?
Is a movie out or coming out? There's a movie coming out.
Oh. I haven't looked into it, really. I used to play so I have a bunch of friends here that play the PC games for Nancy Drew.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, they're fun. They're like puzzle solvers and mysteries and stuff. So I like mysteries. And a ragtag group of teens solve mysteries. So anyways, I just wanted to let everybody know that's what we're doing. So if you guys want to join in and read those and join us for that review on May 26th, please do.
Your background is looking rather different, Maddie. What's happening?
I know. I haven't found a good place to sit yet. I'm still moving.
Lights. What is that?
Okay, so this right here, this is a pachinko machine. So pachinko is like a slot machine, basically, but from Japan.
Fun.
And you get little like marble-looking things, like little metal balls, and you would exchange them for like prizes because you can't really gamble in Japan, technically. But you can. Anyways, so this is a pachinko machine. It's a retro one. It's from the anime Rose of Versailles, which is like kind of the first one of the first big queer Japanese anime. Because it's like a woman dressed up as a knight. Her name is Oscar, and it's always like real life figures. But yeah, so whenever it's just like it's from the anime. So whenever you turn it, then like if you get a certain score, anime scenes play, and it's a thing. So
nice.
And and there's like all my bookcases, and they're still being filled up. You see that this is like more the empty one right here. A lot of my prints and stuff. Yeah. This is my comic book room.
Ooh.
This is just for comic books. That's it. And for doing this show.
We need to get ourselves a tour. You need to give us a tour once we're
going to. Once it's completely done, which is pretty close, I have some more prints to hang up. I'm out of frames, so I've got to. Once I get that, and then I put some more issues up to kind of fill up those blank spots, because there used to be regular books in this bookshelf, but we took them all out. It's only for comic books, but it looks a little kind of barren. So I'm gonna just showcase some issue covers, and then I'll do a book tour probably on near mint condition, because I'm gonna pre-film it and edit it. And so maybe there's a way to connect it to Omnibus Collectors. I think some people do that with like a playlist or something. So I can show everybody what it looks like. It's really nice in here, you guys. It's just for comics. How great is that? That's
awesome. All right. Well, talk about all the tours and everything. But over the weekend, a movie came out that we all went and see. What's the name of the movie, Kristan?
I've never heard of it. I don't know what you're... Oh, yeah. Avengers Endgame.
Yay! Okay, so we're going to start we're going to talk about Endgame. We're going to give our overview, kind of feels.
Do you want to do like a little non-spoiler part first and then warn everybody?
Yes, that's what I was saying. That we're going to do like an overview with like a non-spoilery stuff, and then talk about it. And then we're going to give you plenty of warning. Then we're going to talk about a bunch of spoilers, and then we're going to give our unsolicited opinion on what the future of MCU is going to look like. We have no clue about it, but we're going to talk about it anyway because what else there is to do? So get us going, Kristan. What was your opinion on this movie? Non-spoiler. Tell us.
Well, I laughed. I cried. I felt all the feels, and I loved it. I had little issues I'll get to later, But most of all, I loved it, and I would like to see it a few more times.
Ooh,
maybe even more.
How many times are you thinking?
How many times am I thinking?
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't go see it again in a theater, so.
Oh, okay.
I feel that way too.
That's just due to also my work schedule, so I really can't.
Right.
But yeah, it was I can't even no non-spoiler complaints for you. None.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was a great ending. It was a great end game.
Their end game was strong. Let's just say, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, all right. I think our non-spoiler section will be actually pretty slim. But anyway, Maddie, what was your opinion?
Okay, so I really loved it. Mm-hmm. It felt like it came exactly out of like a crossover event from Marvel. You know, I felt like I just opened a crossover event omnibus, and then there it was, which was great. Like the amount of just like comic book fan service kind of deal was wonderful. You know, we had the quips, we had the serious moments. I didn't feel like it was too hokey. I think some people probably felt that way, like where it felt too cheesy, like that cheesiness. Because sometimes things end right, and then at the end you have to wrap everything up, and you want to do it in the most sincere, cheesy way. You know, like we were friends the whole time, and I will always remember you. But it didn't feel like that. Everything felt very sincere. Every heartfelt moment felt really real and deserved and wonderful. I got to see so many wonderful characters. I was so happy about it. It was great. You know, I have a couple of problems, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I loved the ending. It went exactly how I wanted it to. And I think it was a proper ending. It's a proper send-off for this group of Avengers, and I'm really excited to see where it all goes. Oh, and yeah, no spoilers. I'm trying to think, because I was like, some of these characters are alive, but I don't want to spoil anybody if they're like, oh, they're there.
So I completely agree with you in terms of like the fact that this is a comic book movie. Like it looks like a comic book, like, you know, including like, I could be like, oh, that would be a splash page. Like, you know, that would be a double spread splash page.
Oh my God. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Like the action scenes. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
You just picture it, right? You know, like one of those like Russell Dodderman drawn, just like epic 100 characters sort of deal.
Right. So it kind of feels like that it's like I don't like, you know, there's like, you have to, comic book kind of works in a certain way, like, you know, the stories and everything has to go in, especially with the superhero, especially with Marvel crossover events, it has to move in a certain way. Movies kind of operate at a different level, but I feel like this is like the first time ever that both combined and it worked on both level. Like,
absolutely.
And the thing is, like, you know, I have two problems with it. You know, we talked about it in the chat. Like, you know, I have two problems with it. And, you know, obviously we can't talk about it without going into spoilers. So we can talk about that later. But otherwise, I also thought that it was good. Like it was really great. Like, you know, like as both of you said, like it was like a perfect ending. It made me more excited about the future. Like, as much as it was like, okay, that is done. Now what? Like, you know, show me the future. And I'm really excited. And so from that point of view, shall we move on to the spoilers?
All right. So, here from now on, spoilers, everyone, we're going to spoilers. If you're in the chat, and I wouldn't even recommend muting and just keeping the chat open because you're probably going to get spoiled again. You can always come back and watch this video later. You can message us about Endgame later. We'll be happy to talk to you on Instagram or whatever. Or if you're in the group, talk to us there. Actually, don't talk to us there. Still no spoilers. I can hear Jess being like, how dare you? So now spoilers are free to happen in the chat. Heads up.
I'll put it in the chat. Spoiler time.
Please don't listen to us anymore if you haven't seen it. I don't want anyone to be spoiled on anything at all.
Unless you want to. Some people want to be spoiled.
And if you do, that's fine. I don't understand, but live your truth.
Yeah, live your life. You do you, my friend. You do you. So, okay. So now we're going to be talking about spoiler. Once again, spoiler. Okay. All right. So with that out of the way, I mean, I screamed so loud, like so loud, when, fill in the gap.
When Captain America picked up the hammer.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's amazing! Like, that's the most comic book fan service moment of all time. I had no idea, and I'm so glad they did it. And it's not like there was already precedent for it, you know? So it wasn't like out of nowhere. I was like, oh my god!
My heart, like, I don't need porn anymore, guys. That 10 second or however second he was operating that thing. He was like bringing lightning and then kicking the shit out of Thanos. That's it. That's how you play. I need that. I'm gonna put that like on a constant loop, and just like that's it. I don't need porn anymore.
I feel like I need like an Elseworld story with like where Captain America just becomes Thor for a while. Where like instead of, I mean, I don't want to change anything that happened in the comics, of course, but like an Elseworld is just a separate thing, like where Jane Foster didn't take over when Thor was unworthy, and it's just like Captain America. He's like, oh well, okay, I'll go help Asgard and the 10 realms.
Well, I mean, I was like, I actually went.
Oh my gosh!
Everyone was like, "Are you okay?" Oh, it was so good. Okay, whew. Let me catch my breath. So,
yeah, I mean, oh my gosh! And then when I saw, I was like, there's so many moments I watched through this movie. I was like, oh man, Fariha's gonna flip. Although, one moment. Let's just jump. Can we just jump around? Yeah. Can we just have a normal, chill conversation like we would normally with no structure? Okay. So, at the end, when Cap didn't come back, I turned to Amanda and Omar and I said, sorry, I'm going to curse. Deal with it. I was like, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew Fariha's going to be pissed.
That's one of your problems, right?
Yeah, that is one of my problems.
I knew.
I mean,
I loved it. I
loved it too.
Sobbed. I sobbed. Yeah. I didn't know it would affect me so much. Maybe because I'm a big Agent Carter fan, and I love romantic moments like that. And I know how much he loves her, and they got to be back together, and they've been building this up for years. And when I saw them dance, I was fine. And I saw them dance in the house, and I was like, I mean, just sobbing.
So the thing is, like, obviously I am upset because that's not me. He's dancing.
I know.
I'm just kidding. But the thing is, like, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, though, I completely understand. It's literally contract's over. He wants to move on. Like, Chris Evans wants to move on. They needed to give a closure, and this is pretty much the best they can do.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, the whole old makeup and stuff. He looked like a fucking gilf. I mean, I would say, like,
was that still him? I thought it was just an older actor.
Yeah, still him.
Really?
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like, see, he's gonna be a pretty good gilf. Like, anyway, so I mean, it was fine, the whole thing, but then I'm like, so because what I wanted that he goes on to become Commander of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, that storyline. Because now it's like, okay, so you kept it open that if we want to bring him back, he's gonna become back as an old man Rogers, or it's going to be like a commander. Like, it's like, okay, fine. It's one of those things. I don't know what else they could have done, so I kind of like, okay, fine, have it.
I'm pretty happy with it, and I would not be surprised if he still did some stuff on the side, like on the down low, because because Peggy's still doing all of her same stuff. Or maybe by then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to be a stay-at-home husband. I'm going to clean. I'm going to take care of the house. I'm going to cook. Maybe he got really good at baking, like, I don't know.
Or, he did
little tarts or something. And then Peggy comes home and she's tired. She's worked all day. And he's like, and he's there with his big muscly arms, like, don't worry, honey, I baked you this.
Or he probably just wrote Marvel comics, because in Marvel Comics universe,
that's true.
He's artist for his own comics. So
I mean,
that's what he does. So
it's possible.
But the thing is, so there's all this discussion about, like, okay, that is like kind of undo the character. I'm like, it doesn't.
No.
It is like, oh, he's gonna sit by while all of this hang out. I'm like, You dumb motherfucker, you did not see the movie. This is a different time travel theory. They told you again and again, forget everything you know about time travel. This is a different time travel theory. You know, and then the whole fucking Tumblr. I want to burn Tumblr down.
Don't look at it. Don't look at it. It's not worth it.
I know. I mean, I only look at Tumblr if I'm feeling less angry and I want to be angry.
No.
If I want to Bangla Hulk out, I'm gonna go to Tumblr and then I'm gonna see, and I'm like, and a lot of people, I actually said, I'm like, bitch, did you see the movie? Like, I actually commented on one of them. I'm like, did you see the movie? Like, because you didn't. Bitch, you didn't. Like, no. Don't tell me that. Like, you know, I'm going to take my earrings off and I'm going to come to you. Like, you know, because the whole thing is like, oh my God, imagine Bucky just stood there. I'm like, shut the fuck up, you dumb motherfucker, dumb bimbo. Like, you know, it's like, no, they talked about it. He knew it. He said that I'm going to miss you, even though he's going to go for 5 seconds. Like, Banner says he will be gone for us, it will be 5 seconds. And he's like, I'm going to miss you. So
Bucky knew. Yeah, well, of course. Bucky knew the second he volunteered.
Because they had a discussion on the side. That's what happened. Like, you know, they talked about it because they're friends.
Well, regardless, Bucky's going to be fine. You know? And like, and okay, so and I'm not a big Bucky fan. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not a fan of Bucky. I've never been. I just don't care about the whole like, depressed, emo kid. And people like him, and I understand why. It's not for me anymore. That's not my type of guy. It would have been if I was 13, but I'm not. And think it like if he had gone back and he had fixed anything, which isn't how that time travel works, but if it did, it would invalidate everything Bucky's gone through and the growth that he's made for himself as a character. So no, he's okay. It's gonna be fine.
Everything's gonna be fine. Right. But the thing, I just loved, like, I want to see this new sassy Cap. Because all of a sudden he's like very sassy, like, you know, it's like the whole thing with the America's ass, and like, yeah, I know. Like, when they're like, are you shitting me? Like, you know, the whole Hail Hydra.
That was really good. And I knew he was going to. When he got in the elevator, I was like, he's gonna say it. Man, I don't know what was like for you guys when you saw it, but in our theater, and we saw it like 5 p.m. the earliest showing they had in our town. I mean, it was a really cool experience. Normally, I hate when people talk in movies, and I'm awful about it. And I know that I'm one of those anal, awful people about talking in movies.
You're
but
not in the parties.
Everyone did. Everyone was just like, I mean, just screaming and just excited, and it was a really beautiful like group experience. And nobody was doing it in a disruptive way, but it was just kind of beautiful and uniting. I don't know if you guys felt like that in your theaters or had anything like that, but ours was. I mean, it was beautiful. And you could hear crying at some points. You could hear, like, collectively sniffles across the whole theater.
There was collective, it was the same. Like, there was the theater that I was in, it was also, like, you know, collective sniffle, collective thing. I was the only one who booed at the end when there was no end credit scene, and I just sat there, like...
I already knew, so I wasn't surprised.
No, but the thing is, like, there was a whole hammering and everything, and then I'm like, boo! You made us sit through this. Anyway, Kristan. What did you like? Something spoilery?
Well, we have to give a shout out to Nashvilleans.
Oh my god!
Who gave us $2 to say I thought of Fariha, that is America's ass.
We all did.
We all did. I think everyone did. Thank you, Nashvilleans. We all did.
No, I when that scene was playing out, I'm like, did I write Endgame? Well, I'm like,
you need like a T-shirt. I don't know how that would work, but you need something to indicate that like. You were aware of this.
Like, I'm like, like, you know, I'm like, did I write this? Like, you know, the whole thing about Iron, like, oh, Tony, man, like, you know, he's so sure of himself. It's like, that suit does nothing. And then that whole scene. And the thing is, like, how he is like, that is America. It was just perfect. It was just a perfect fan service. I loved it so much. But anyway.
I mean, I loved everything with Scott and Peter being like fanboys to everyone. I love that. I need a whole movie of that. I need a whole movie of just them interacting with people and fanning out about it because they're us. They're us in the movie.
Yeah.
Like that's what we would do.
Right.
And it was so endearing and lovely. And I love it. And then Peter and Tony, stop it. Like that hurt my heart.
Oh God! We should have seen Amanda.
Oh, I bet.
I know she's in the chat right now, but we saw it together. And Amanda's a huge Peter Parker fan, but even more so a Tom Holland fan.
Rider.
And so I knew when they got back together, I was like, oh no, this is the end for her. This is it. So, I want to talk about Valkyrie's big gay energy the entire movie.
Oh, she was great.
Even though, of course, we'll never say, ooh, actually, I do have some bullshit to talk about real quick.
Tell us.
I said big gay energy, and they remind me how mad I am that the Russo brothers were like, how do I feel about Marvel's first openly gay character? And they're not talking about Valkyrie. They're talking about that stupid couple in the therapy session. And they're like, we just really wanted to have some representation in the movie. I'm like, what, for 5 seconds? And and you can't say that Valkyrie's gay? No. Like, you made an amazing movie. Stop talking. I
rolled my eyes so hard.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was like, don't take credit for this. The least you could do.
So the thing is that, you have that problem. Well, remember how you felt when I'm going to talk about what problem I had later on. Just remember the anger, that you felt. Because I was rolling my eyes at that. I'm like, what?
And then my other problem is Thor, but not because of him. I thought I really appreciate, I've been talking a lot about mental health in comic books, especially in lieu of Heroes in Crisis, which I'm still very upset about. And when I was going to mention that, I will have a full discussion about that. But I thought Thor's portrayal was really good, because honestly, and a lot of the characters, what they went through was very extreme, and they all went through incredible trauma,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very natural that Thor would go this way. And I was glad to see that in a superhero, and I really appreciated that, he continued to fight with it, and he didn't do this whole, we didn't have to do a workout montage or anything. He got really depressed and he had PTSD, and naturally some things got left go in his body as he dealt with that, as it happens to many of us. And he didn't have to go look better again and look sexy again to finish the fight. He cleaned up at the end.
Also, I thought he still looked great. Just saying.
I'm into that body, okay? So I'm fine with it. But he got his beard all nice, and he got his suit on, and he had a lot of beautiful moments, with being able to get the hammer again and knowing that he's worthy, which I thought was a nice little coming back from reading Jason Aaron's Thor, Unworthy Thor, that really meant a lot to me because I know it meant a lot to Thor. All these beautiful moments, except there are some comments from other characters that were written in there.
I feel like you were maybe going this way.
That I did not appreciate. And
I didn't like it either.
And it made the whole audience laugh at him. And I was like, as a person who is plus size, okay, I don't appreciate this. And I can't, aren't we past this whole laughing at somebody's body?
Yeah.
There are a few exceptions. Tony Stark looked like Big Lebowski. He did. That's not a fat joke.
He legit did.
He legit did.
He was just cosplaying as him.
Yeah. But the Cheese Whiz joke by Rhodey or whatever his name is.
That was uncalled.
No. Yeah. And then you ruined this beautiful moment with his mom. He got to talk to his mom. And as somebody who has a dead parent, getting a chance to talk to them, and then you put in this fucking eat a salad joke. I was like, you had this beautiful moment.
Yeah.
This was not necessary.
But I think that was mostly, I don't know, because so here's the thing. I really like that moment though.
Yeah.
Because why? You know what?
Because a mom would say that.
I had the exact same conversation with my mom.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I get. It's hard.
But she wasn't, and my mom also didn't mean it in a condescending way. My mom also meant it as more of it was because the thing is, I took it the same way. Remember in the Spider-Verse, Aunt May is and a little bit thick in the tummy, when the Peter Parker came out, I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Everyone talks about it. I took it more of a loving. I did not care for all the other things the way other people were acting around it. But I thought that the mom moment was kind of sweet. That's what I thought.
And that's what I've heard from other people too. Because which I can get. I didn't like it, but I also understand because in a real life circumstance, my mom would say the same to me. And she loves me.
Yeah. It came from love. I would say, from Frigga's point of view, she instantly knew that you are not my son, you're not my Thor. you're from the future, like the whole thing that was there. But the thing is like, but then again, Rocket made a couple of jokes, but then again, it's Rocket. Like, I feel like he's like that.
I still think it's like, for a lot of characters, it was unnecessary.
I think it's the easy joke to make.
Yeah.
And I think what's really sucks about it, when I think about it, is all the kids that are seeing this movie, and they're thinking these jokes are okay. And that's part of the problem, like, because they're going to repeat things like that, and that sucks. And their parents are, because they're like, it's fine, that's what everyone does, and that sucks too, because that's never going to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if we could take that out, I do think his Thor's story about PTSD and his body and everything else was a beautiful one. Right. If we could just take out a few of these jokes.
Like, and the thing is, like, when my reaction to when they first showed him like that, my first reaction, I was like, oh no.
My poor baby.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. And everyone around was like,
yeah, I know. And it broke my heart.
Like, I'm like, I lost faith in humanity, like, so many times during this movie. Like, and on the aftermath, I'm like, oh, what is this? Because my projection was, oh no, this is not good. And like, and I actually felt like, I'm like, oh no, does he, like, can he actually help at all? Because I felt like this is, like, he's really in the bottom of the barrel, as, like, rock bottom as you can get. But everyone's like, I'm like, ugh. Like,
I was at least glad to see Korg and Meek there on New Asgard.
Yeah.
Even for a moment.
They're just chilling.
And seeing Valkyrie was great, even though she and Captain Marvel never talked, and they were so close to each other in one scene. That was just like, could they at least look at each other?
Like, no. Wait till I go into the rant about that. So,
okay.
I'm going to claim that, what you call it, first right to scream about that.
I do have some mixed feelings about the thing I think you're going to talk about.
Yeah. So,
because it's a mixed thing of, one, I'm really glad they show everything. But two, I always feel a little weird after, because I'm like, was this a pity thing?
How about we just talk about it, guys?
Let's talk about it. Sorry.
Because I'm like, no one knows what you're saying except
Sorry.
I don't know why we're, like, being so cryptic about it.
Like, what are you doing?
Like,
I don't
jumping
know.
around. It's fine.
So we're going to talk about this. First of all, I did not care for Black Widow's death. I didn't care for it. No, it's not acceptable.
Oh, that one, yeah.
It's not happening. Nope.
I'm with you.
Nope.
Should have been either one of them, really.
Nope. I'm done. Because I'm sorry, like, it's not okay. I'm sorry, it's just not okay. You cannot have a first, like, the only female Avenger who has been not done right. Not done right in the movie at all.
This is the best she's been.
Yeah.
In what, however long it's gone on?
Just to kill her.
Like, no, she was the one who was keeping it all together. She became the leader. She was keeping all of it together. She was making everything work. I was so sure, oh my God, she's going to become the next leader. That's what they're setting her up for.
And she was for about 5. It looks like she was the leader for 5 years.
Yeah. Versus the shithole that is Hawkeye. Like, that survived. Like, I was livid. Like, I was absolutely livid. Like, imagine what happened after she was gone. Every single scene was all men. There was no women. There was no women in any of the scene. You were talking about kitty thing, the whole thing of all the ladies coming together. I'm like, take your pandering and get the fuck out of here. No.
Well, if only they had brought Okoye to do anything.
Exactly.
That was a little bit of a bummer. I was like,
like, what? Like,
it's one of your more successful movies, and you couldn't put Okoye in any of the scenes. Like, if there's a scheduling thing, I get it, but I feel like there's not, and you didn't use her.
No. Don't say that. At this point, Marvel own all of their souls. No, there is no scheduling problem. There is none of that. It's just a place for storytelling. Because here's the thing, I am done with hearing that. Oh, but Okoye get to keep Wakanda. Like, she was the leader of Wakanda. Well, I didn't see that. Where was it?
Yeah, exactly. Show me.
Yeah, show me that. Like, I didn't see that. Then Captain Marvel's like, oh, by the way, there is no one, there no other planets don't need Avenger. Okay, fine, perfect, sure, okay. Once again, I didn't see that. Then there was a whole thing about, because this is something that I was also sort of talking about. no women got to interact. No women have a meaningful interaction with each other during any of this movie. I'm sorry, that's not okay. Like for example, like Peter and Tony got to have like, oh my God, we found each other. Versus Okoye and Shuri meeting up. That was never showed. Like Valkyrie didn't get to interact with anyone. Scarlet Witch didn't get to, like, no one got to celebrate.
I guess the only exception is Gamora and Nebula. Because they got to have moments, but, I didn't think about it. It's one of those things. What's the Bechdel test on this?
No, the Bechdel test on this is terrible. There's no Bechdel. First of all, I personally don't like Bechdel test because it was like, it was like, I fail Bechdel test on a regular basis in my life. Like, it's not lack of thing. Because
you pass with us.
Yeah. We're not talking about guys, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, like, I feel like it's okay. Like, because I hear there's a lot of movie where men talks about women. Like, I don't know.
But I still think it's important to think about, though. Because, like, until you mentioned it, I didn't even think about women not talking to each other in this movie.
Yeah, because this is the thing you look for.
Outside of Nebula and Gamora, I can't think of any other instances where other women talk to one another.
And
we had that one A4 scene where everybody's together.
Pandering.
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing.
I'll take it. I liked it.
Oh, no, and that's the thing. Well, there's that, right? Because I love seeing them all together, but then I also feel a weird thing after, because I'm like...
Also, why was it 1 second?
Why is it 1 second?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the weird thing. So I'm like, I got so excited to see them all together, but then I think, did I get to see these people besides Captain Marvel do anything after this, or before this?
No,
I guess Scarlet Witch.
No, but the thing is, here's the thing. There's also no combination between a man and a woman fighting together. Like, it's always them, like, the men are fighting together and taking out the bad. Like, there's no teamwork between that as well. Like, these are some easily fixable thing. Yeah, make like Scarlet Witch and Thor take out some people together. Make like, Black, like not Black Widow, she was dead. Like, make these people do some things together. Like, make it more than this. You can do this. You can do this, Marvel. You can do this, Russo brothers. Like, that thing is like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna accept Pepper Potts as like, oh look, a female warrior. No, like,
I don't know. I liked that suit. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool, but there should have been more of the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There should have been more of that. Like, we should have seen this happen elsewhere as well. Like, it just felt like, remember I told you like the three like, I don't know. It just, I didn't care.
No, I get you. And it's hard, right? Because it's like, I don't know. I'm sure that they thought, okay, well, we need to keep focusing on the original team. But I still wanted more from the rest. And I think I wouldn't notice this as much. I wouldn't feel as mad about it, I guess, if Okoye had been included in the first part of the film. And I don't think I would have noticed as much. And I didn't. I don't think it's amazing. Like, I'm conditioned not to think about it. And then until we started talking about it, I was like, oh yeah.
And the thing is, like, I'm just done, like, accepting that, oh, by the way, but they were doing all this. I'm like, no, they weren't. Like, I don't care. I didn't see it. Like, I didn't see any of this. Like, I mean, I don't want you to pander me. That was typical pandering. As cool as it looked, that was typical pandering. I didn't like it. The thing is, though, I will forgive them if the Black Widow movie involves her coming back. Because
I think it'd be really cool if she was just like, so
no, let me finish this. Sorry.
Okay, good. You're fine. Sorry.
Before we move on, because my friend was saying that, oh, her movie is just gonna be a prequel. I don't give a shit, because after Endgame, I don't want to see prequel of anyone, because this is like the biggest event that happened in their lives. Like, I don't want to see a prequel. Like, the same way, let's say that, I don't know. I mean, I was trying to think about it, like how I would transfer this information. Like, if I all of a sudden become a CEO of like some company, like I become CEO of Marvel, I don't know. Like, just take it for an example. A movie about how I finished high school is not an interesting movie. The movie is how I went from some co-host of Fangirlz Assemble to Marvel, like, to CEO of Marvel. That's an interesting story.
It reminds me of those jokes Patton Oswalt used to say about Star Wars. Because he used to say that he never wanted to see episode 1, 2, 3. Oh, you do know, Kristan?
Yeah.
Because he was like, I don't want to see, like, oh, here's another movie about Darth Vader. And it's like, but he's a kid. And you're like, I don't want to see that. It's like, here's a movie about the Death Star. And at the end of the movie, you see it being made. He's like, no, this isn't what I wanted.
Who said that?
Patton Oswalt. He had a whole big joke about.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I saw the thing too. Yeah, I completely agree with it because I want to see. I don't want to see that. I don't care for that. So now, if it's a combination, because I feel like it's gonna be, because nothing in Marvel is a plot hole. It's always a plot thread. The fact that Hulk kept on saying, "I really tried to bring her back, but it didn't work." Like Hawkeye had that. And then, the fact that all of a sudden Ivan, the name was already brought up all of a sudden, like, her father's name was brought up all of a sudden. I think it's going to be a back and forth between her 2 times. Like, how she got back and here's the thing. When Cap showed up to Vormir, imagine his life coming to an end. Like, oh my God, Red Skull. Like, can you imagine that? Like how he felt? And then he's like,
well, that's why I was kind of wondering, like,
here's the Soul Stone, and then it's like,
can you not do like a trade then if you give the Soul Stone back for the soul that you gave? I don't know how, because like in comic books, I think that's how that works.
So yes,
Soul Stone, people get out of the Soul Stone all the time. That's not a big deal.
That's what I'm saying. So if he gives back the Soul Stone, what happened? There is like something gotta give. Like I want to see that in the movie. And the thing is, and here's also another thing, because I was thinking, if this is not about her coming back, if this is just about her prequel, I have another issue that they did not do an on-screen funeral for her. Come on now. That is so bad. Like, we got an on-screen funeral for Tony Stark. We didn't get an on-screen funeral for her. The only reason that's probably didn't happen because she's coming back. Because if they did that, then you chip in Tony Stark's funeral. Like, because if it's like, oh, but one character came back, well, is the other going to come back? No. So that's why they kept it, I'm hoping that's why they kept it separate.
I'd love for her to come back and be like, I think the character has a lot of potential. I don't think she's always been written well, which is why I've never cared about her. So I'm on the other side that like, I thought she was really compelling in this movie, but when she died, I didn't care. Because I didn't have any relation to her. So I didn't even think about the funeral because I was like, oh, okay. Like, bye. But I've had no connection to her over the years.
Right.
I had more connection to Hawkeye, but that's because of my own, like, weird family dynamics and dad stuff. So, like, for me, I connected to him a lot. So I wasn't surprised by how that went.
I am so done with like the whole thing. Like, but I can't have a family. Shut the fuck up. The man killed so many people.
I know, but I didn't mind that storyline at all. Sorry.
Plus, he was killing evil people. So
yeah.
No, I get that.
I liked it. I liked his story, but I like Hawkeye in the movie still.
Like, I liked it too. I wish they both just would have been alive, and that wasn't even a thing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ultimately.
But like, I think I would have done something at the end where when they returned the Soul Stone, she would have come back. Because I don't think that would have cheapened her death. I think that would have made sense. I would have preferred something like that. I will say that I would have preferred something like that. But
that's what I'm saying. They're probably setting that up for her movie. Like, because
be fine.
Yeah, because it's a useless thing of like, okay, why do I give a shit about how she graduated Red Room when Endgame fucking happened to her? Like, oh my God, no, the character has moved so much further. I don't care for that. I really don't. And like, this whole thing about like, oh, I can't have a family because that's a woman and I should care. No. I mean, I reject the idea of like, I don't want like,
Well, that's just that bad writing from that movie. I mean, that's just. But we can get about Joss Whedon another time.
It's your fault. You Buffy fans, it's your fault.
Hey, listen.
Hey, we didn't make him do creepy things.
We don't
claim him.
We don't claim him for that. Okay. So stuff I do want to talk about. Again, I thought the Captain Marvel stuff in there was really cool. I liked her haircut. I was a little sad that we didn't see her as much. But I think her action scenes in the end were really cool. And honestly, that scene when Doctor Strange brings everybody in, was amazing.
Oh my god.
Everyone was so excited. They were just yelling. It was the most beautiful comic book anime scene ever of my life. It was great. I'm a little sad I didn't get more time with more characters, but I also understand that like maybe 3 hours is a little long, but I would have gladly taken more time to see more of my characters see each other. Like
maybe
the Guardians didn't really meet up. I wanted a nice Rocket plus his family meet up. I didn't get that, and I was a little sad because I think Rocket was owed.
No, speaking of character meeting up, Rocket and Groot got to meet him, but God forbid Okoye and Shuri meet up. God forbid, like raccoon.
Well, Okoye, we can all agree that Okoye just didn't get anything in this movie,
right? Nothing.
Because she showed up at the beginning, and then didn't show up until the end.
She showed up in the beginning, told us that, hey, Namor is coming in the sequel, and then they went away. Like, that's all she did. That was her whole thing.
At least they were all very, I mean, like, I was glad to see them. I just wish I had more. I wish I had more heartfelt reunions between everyone.
Right.
Like because even though Rocket and Groot were in the same scene,
that was lacking.
Nothing happened.
I was like, ridiculous. I was like, wait, we built this up too. You know? Like, what?
Especially with Rocket being more in tune with his emotions towards the end of Guardians 2, right? And his family dynamic has been built up so much, and then we just didn't get anything.
Nothing.
That's like, listen, I'll accept that I don't get to see that much Mantis, her doing stuff. I will accept that. I recognize that that's just what I want. But let Rocket have this. Give my Guardians a little, I know they're going to have another movie, so they're not the focus, but like, do it for me.
I really hope, and I also really hope that Thor's in Guardian 3.
Well, looks like that's the plan. And he said as Guardians of the Galaxy, and I was like, oh.
No, but I hope that it doesn't have like, it's like 3 months later, we dropped Thor somewhere, and then now we're doing our own.
I think he'll be in it.
I hope so.
There's a lot more they can do, because it took them a while to figure out how they wanted to write Thor and what they wanted to do with Thor. So...
And movie Thor is like really funny. Like they've established that with Ragnarok, even in his first movie. I mean,
I love Thor. Yeah, I want him to keep going. It's not like, I feel like with Tony Stark and Captain America, it was a good stopping point for a lot of Avengers on Earth. Right. I know you don't feel that way. I know, but
I'm with
you.
With
Thor, I really feel like there's a lot you can do. Not just space, but if we wanted to eventually do realm stuff, I'm really cool with that. Like, I don't know where all of Marvel's going to go after this, but I am so excited for Guardians 3. I'm so excited for Adam Warlock. I'm pumped that Thor's joining in. I feel like Gamora and Adam Warlock are gonna be a thing because Gamora doesn't remember Peter, and Adam Warlock and Gamora are a thing in the comics. So excited to see where this goes. I'm sure they won't give me Nova, but I can keep hoping. So...
I mean, you know what I hope for after this? The 2 seconds of Natalie Portman. I think I'm the only one who's like, yay, Jane Foster, come back as Natalie Portman still and do this movie one day.
Man, if only.
She would kill it.
She'd be so good as Thor.
She's so good. But no one ever talks about how good she is, but she is.
But once again, she didn't say anything.
Well, she probably has other cool indie movies to do.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't in this movie and these are scenes from Thor Dark.
Well, see, I think that may have been it. I kept thinking, I don't know if this is a new scene, but she did go to the premiere. So, hey, that's something. She acknowledged she was in it and went to the premiere.
Okay.
So, I don't know. One day, I want it to happen.
Me too. Like, to be honest, me too. But the thing is, now would have been a good time. Like, if she was interested in it, right, and then they set up Thor the Dark World, now would have been a perfect time for another baton to pass on,
Well, but I mean, we still got, Thor, and he still is going to go on and do something.
But he's unworthy, right? Like, never mind.
They can still do it. That's my point.
Yeah.
Within the next, 5 years, let's make it happen.
One of my pleasant surprise was Ancient One. To see her, because I Tilda Swinton, I don't know why, but I really like her. I really like Tilda Swinton. So the thing is, she was back, and I was like, yay! And then it's then she kind of taught us about alternate reality, and I'm like, oh! And then she was gone. So it was just a nice quick thing for me. I kind of like that. So is there anything else like you were kind of surprised, like, whoa, I wasn't expecting them? Like for you, it was Jen Foster. Like anyone else or anything else?
I know Amanda was really surprised. I'm speaking for Amanda because she's not here, but I think some people might be surprised. That kid in Iron Man 3 was at the funeral.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's pretty neat.
People hated Iron Man 3. I really liked Iron Man 3. So that was cool.
I liked dealing with PTSD, and I liked that side of heroes.
Yeah, people were like, there wasn't enough Iron Man. I'm like, I like that. Like, I want to know the motivation behind the mask, like that's what we like.
So the thing is that no, I have like no feelings about Iron Man. So this is something that I'm gonna say.
That's fine.
Like, I'm gonna say
a safe space. I just told you I didn't care about Black Widow. So
so the thing is, like, I completely understand you not caring about Black Widow, because honestly, I don't care about her either, because she's not done well in MCU. Like, she's not the person, like, not the hero I know from the comics. But the thing is, she was that hero at the beginning of this movie. That's what I'm saying. Like, in the beginning of this movie,
I agree.
Like, she was that. And the fact that she was taken off the chessboard so fast, that did not sit well with me. But anyway, so the thing is, like, the whole, like, Tony Stark and I, we're, like, opposite end of magnet. Like, we're always like this. Like,
he's not your type of dude, for sure.
No, it's not. Like, and the thing is, I don't mind that in Thor, though, but something about him, I'm like,
I think we're the complete opposite here.
Huh?
I think we're the complete opposite here. Like, out of everyone dying, he would probably affect me the most.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, like, it all started with Iron Man, and I loved Iron Man. I love Robert Downey Jr.
But here's the thing. I do love seeing the movies. I like him seeing in the movies, but I feel like he's one of those things, like, oh, let's go have beer. Not that Iron Man is going to tell me to go have beer with him. I'll be like, no thanks. Like, I just...
really Thor would say that, wouldn't he?
Like, no, I don't know. I mean, if you know what I mean, it's just like, I just feel... So, when I was watching him die, it's a very emotional, oh my God, so emotional and everything, right? The way I felt about it, as if I heard one of my Facebook acquaintances who I've never talked, I only talked once, then I added them on Facebook, and I heard their father died. Like, I had the same amount of reaction to that, to watching Iron Man die. And you know what? Karma's a bitch. Because
I cried.
5 minutes... No, 5
he got
minutes
me
later,
again. Daddy issues. The minute he put out the video and it said "I love you 3000,"
yeah, that.
Okay, so full split. My dad passed away when I was a teen, and so any moment in a movie like that, it doesn't matter if it's good, if it's cheesy, it does not matter. The minute you say "I love you 3000," I was just like, oh God, just.
Oh my God! No, I had to pass tissue to my friend. I'm like, she was like crying, and that's what I said. That's what I mean. Like, I felt like that. Like, someone, like, I don't know, their father passed away. I understood the heartache of that.
Oh, man.
I personally didn't feel it. And guess what? Karma's a bitch, because 10 minutes later, my entire life came to an end.
Yeah.
Like MCU, for me, as I know it and love, came to an end because I felt nothing. I paid that price, okay? Because internally, I'm like, ha, 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 that means my boy is safe. Oh, he wasn't. Oh, he wasn't.
It's like Thanos when he gave away Gamora. So exactly. I think you mentioned different parts in the chat. Leighton mentioned the Wanda versus Thanos, which I loved.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was one of the best Wanda moments. I always get really sad by how underused she is, because I think about her in the comic books where she is just like, I mean, all powerful, like Jean Grey powerful, can change. So I was excited to see her do a little bit more. Again, I still think she's underused, although I understand her powers are used differently in here. And then Nick Schmidt mentioned that the hardest part for him to watch was when Morgan was talking with Happy, and Happy's when they're out front, he's talking about giving her all the hamburgers. I thought that was really sweet. What an interesting character that he's just there and doesn't have powers, and yet continues to be an effective.
So was
character.
Happy busted?
Huh?
Was Happy dusted?
Oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they mentioned that.
They don't talk about him, so.
Right. And so, but to be honest, though, like, we're talking about that. I kind of felt like the whole coming back from the dusting was not talked about at all.
I think they will talk about it next movie.
I hope so. Someone's got to talk about it.
They're going to have to talk about it in Spider-Man because something we talked about after, it was his entire class dusted, or is like, are some of them 5 years older now? How does this work? How does this affect Spider-Man and his field trip?
Like, every one of them, why are they still in high school? Like, they did say that they were there for like a minute. For them, it was like a couple of minutes, right?
Yeah.
Because Peter was saying so fast, like, oh my God, I feel like this happened, and I'm like, and he was like, to him, no time passed. So is that, are we kind of going by like, okay, these people, though their ears are like, oh my God. Ugh. Anyway.
I don't know. So I don't know how this is going to affect the world going forth. Because we also have situations like Ant-Man's daughter is 5 years older. And that's just how that is.
Right.
So I don't know who else
still continues to look like 20.
Yeah. I don't know. And we have several okay, so I guess we can also talk about what's coming up, right? So we're supposed to get a Loki show, and I assume that's going to be a kid Loki.
No,
that's what I've heard.
I think it's going to be Loki that got away with the Tesseract. Because there's a Loki that's now loose in that universe.
Well, timey-wimey stuff, I don't even know exactly if that's how that works. Because if they, I don't know, because like they say that if they, it's not like time goes back and they just never go there, right? So I don't know how.
Oh, I know. I don't know.
I can't think about it. And then we get WandaVision, which Vision is gone, and this is going to be set in the 50s. So I'm wondering if Wanda's going to do some like reality bending powers, or she's going to steal something and go back in time. I assume this will be based on Tom King's Vision somewhat, because that feels very 50s-ish. I don't know.
But the Tom King Vision had a different Vision family.
Well, I know. I'm saying based loosely.
Okay.
Because it feels very 50s-ish. That story does.
True. That would be cool.
So I could get on. I don't know what they would do.
And then also Falcon and Winter Soldier now have to be renamed Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I hope they do that. And that means Old Man Rogers going to be there? And if he fucking shows up there, I'm going to lose my shit again. Because I'm like, if you could show up in Old Man makeup, why can't you just show up in your normal fucking face in the normal fucking movie?
I don't think they're going to do that. It's too expensive.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry for yelling. I have entered depression phase. This is the last time I felt like this was when Harry Potter was over, when Dumbledore died. That's how I felt like this.
Oh, like, spoilers!
This whole
okay, I think we can spoil that one.
Just kidding.
Like the hollow feeling I got when Dumbledore was gone. Like I'm living in a world without, like the world is now without Dumbledore. Like that the world is now without Captain America. Like Steve Rogers, Captain America. That's how I'm feeling. Like oh, guys. Okay,
but think, we're now opening this up, hopefully, to maybe younger Avengers on Earth, which means, okay, we can all agree that it would be a dumb decision for Marvel not to make a Mrs. Marvel movie live action, right? Like they should do that in the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like
they need to.
Yes,
but
can I be her aunt?
Yeah, come on. We'll campaign. We'll figure it out.
Angry the whole time. It'll be good.
Yeah, I'll be the angry aunt sitting in the corner and then just saying, "The young whippersnapper, get off my lawn."
Tell her to eat a salad.
Like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so we have Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then we've got the Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi. Then
with Namor.
Yeah, which I'm really excited about. I think that was a good direction for them to go, because I think the dynamics between Black Panther and Namor are very interesting.
They're going to be the new Bucky and Steve. They're going to be the new Stucky.
I hope they have some like sexually ambiguous moments with each other, like in the comic books. Even though that doesn't happen, I'm just reading very hard in between the lines between them.
So the thing is, like, no, sometimes at one point I'm like, just kiss each other already. This needs to end. Like, like whatever. So the thing is, like, so here's the thing. They didn't explicitly said Namor is coming. The reason we are saying this because Okoye mentioned there is an underwater earthquake. If this was told by another character, I wouldn't care. But because it was a Wakandan person saying that there was an earthquake, underwater earthquake in somewhere in the coast of Africa, I am thinking because something is brewing, under the ocean.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how I am taking it. So I'm not sure.
And they've been teasing Namor forever, so I think that'll happen.
Right.
Oh, Nick Schmidt also mentioned Doctor Strange 2, so we should be getting another Doctor Strange movie.
Yes.
I'm for. I like the other one.
Yeah.
And the effects are really cool.
So, and also, like, not to mention that the only thing that Hawkeye is good for, apparently, family. So we're gonna use his family as a thing. Like, are we gonna see young Hawkeye? Like, because he calls his daughter Hawkeye.
I don't know, because they said in the description that it'd be Kate Bishop. So maybe they will use his daughter instead of Kate Bishop. I don't know, but That's in.
Weird, though, because Kate Bishop and him has a complete different interaction in comics.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that it's not his daughter.
Yeah,
but I'm open to this.
Yeah, so I don't know what else gonna happen. One thing I would say though, this movie, other than that one thing about about the Namor, which I am reading too much into it, by the way. I don't know. I mean, like I said, like if anyone else said it, it would be. There was a look between Captain Marvel and Rhodey that was shared. So
yeah.
So that was I was like, ugh. So anyway, so that was a thing between the two, and then also like the one that I really like from the Miss Marvel, like is like Peter Parker and her, like they used to go on dates, like mostly Peter Parker, just like but this is kind of weird because he's underage, but the whole thing, like, hi Peter Parker, that was really nice. But what I was trying to say, like this movie did nothing to set up the future. There was no.
I don't think that's a smart move, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Because think about how this played out over the past however many years. We just got pieces and pieces of it, and some of them are really long, like far-reaching. This has been kind of putting together for years, and so I don't want a hint. I want this next like arc to set up itself, and I want those slow little hints about things, and so we can kind of piece together what it's going to be. Because there's something fun about that when you finish the movie and you're like, oh man. Because all we know right now is that with Guardians 3, Adam Warlock will be there because that's confirmed at the end of Guardians 2. That's all we've got. I don't know anything else. And there's like the tinkering at the end of the movie, at the end of Endgame.
Yeah, what is that? So apparently that's directly from the first Iron Man movie.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay, so then it's just like a...
The people analyzed it, but that's the thing. What does it mean? Is it meaning like an end of the first era, or does it mean there's another Iron Man coming? Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because if they're going to do that, would it be Ironheart? They probably wouldn't give us Ironheart because people would be mad. They'd be like, oh, how could they replace it with this black woman? Like, shut up.
As if like we care, but...
I would love Ironheart. You all can go step off.
Yeah, like, whatever.
But, I don't know, maybe it was just like a nice little soundbite to end everything since it started with Iron Man.
Right.
We didn't talk about how hot Hulk is, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, Professor Hulk. Let's talk about
Professor Hulk. That was so good.
He was great.
So good.
I love Professor Hulk. I thought he was very attractive.
I want a whole movie about that. A whole movie.
Yes.
Please.
And then bring in She-Hulk. Let's just do it all together.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
The whole thing where he's like, this is kind of gratuitous. It's like, oh, I'll go along the way and smash some stuff. It's like, it's kind of gratuitous, but okay. Like, to him, it's like he's beneath that, Now, like,
he had to pretend he's like,
Yeah, he lightly hits a car.
Like, But the thing is, the whole Hulk was so good. It's like, so many stairs!
There's a lot of good Hulk moments. And I really like seeing him like this in the movie because he's been dealing with this personal trauma and mental health growth for years. And to see him, it was such a great dichotomy between everyone, right? Because now he's the perfect picture of mental health. right now. He's really found himself. He's figured out how to make it work. He's doing great. And then you see everyone else, and everyone else is, well, besides Cap, because Cap is going to therapy. He's doing a good job. He's working the program. Everyone else is in ruins. Right?
So here's the thing, though, and this is like to that point. I was actually kind of thinking about this because it's like, why on earth would you send 2 humans with no power to Boromir and not send Hulk there? Like, if you have done that, and his sacrifice was he had to sacrifice him Banner to get the Soul Stone, and Hulk is the only person left. Like, that would have opened up so many other options to tell stories. I personally think that would have been an interesting storytelling because I'm like, why are we sending these 2 humans to Boromir? Don't send them.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to traumatize the guy, though. Like Maddie said, he's been through so much. He's in such a good place. He's so happy. He's taking selfies. It's awesome.
I know. Oh my gosh. I love him so much. And I've been kind of in love with Hulk ever since reading Planet Hulk. Yeah. And so when I see him now, I'm like, oh, I love you, Bruce Banner. You're so great.
You guys all need to read, like, all of Hulk because I'm
going to. Absolutely. That's on my list because right now.
Definitely should read Jason Aaron and Immortal Hulk because I think a lot of Immortal Hulk was like, he's very nice, but I like a lot of like the whole dichotomy between like a Hulk and they're kind of fusing together and working together and stuff like that. I think that's like, I don't know, it was really lovely. But I think, do you think Edward Norton would have pulled this off?
No. Listen, Mark Ruffalo is the sweetest man. I'm so glad he's there because he's perfect.
Yeah, Mark is so good.
Like, I feel like, he's the one who brought this all together because he's like such a goofy, but he's a Hulk, and he's like completely unaware he's Hulk. And the thing is like how he was like easily manipulated by Black Widow. Like, it's like, well, you've done this. And it's like, yeah. But the whole thing when he said like time travel, I was laughing my head.
The way he just like, well, I guess I'll try. I was just like, oh no.
Like, time travel. And then Cap is like, oh God, we're dead. We're so dead. So that was perfect. But I don't know, guys. I'm kind of sad. I'm sad. I haven't accepted it yet.
I know you haven't.
Like, I haven't accepted that this version, like, it's all about saying goodbye. I'm not, this is why you should always keep them going. I mean, I don't know.
It had to eventually, and at least it took a very long time to get here.
Mm-hmm.
We're very lucky that we live in a time now where we have like this crazy long superhero franchise in theaters. This has already made over $1 billion globally.
1.2
Sunday. Like, that is wild. And how crazy lucky are we that we even have this? Who would have ever thought? And everyone's seeing this. Granted, those same people, if they came over, were like, really, you have all these comic books? But still, it's pretty cool.
No, I mean, one of the weirdest things that happened though, myself, my friend and I, we were actually sitting at a, just sitting and waiting for me to drop her at her, like, we were sitting at a restaurant and just waiting to drop her off at the train station, and we were talking about completely different thing. This guy's like, hey, excuse me, just to let you know, we don't want to hear any spoilers. I'm like, huh? Spoilers about what? Like, and then it's like, well, we haven't seen the movie yet, and I heard Avengers. I'm like, dude, we've been talking about Avengers for the last 30 minutes, and we just changed the topic. And so if you haven't heard all these 30 minutes, you haven't heard anything, And then also like it, and so then later on, I was thinking like next time someone does this to me, I'm gonna be like, Avengers, what's that? I mean, I'm a girl, I don't know. Avengers.
Or just look him in the eyes and say Tony dies.
Yeah, and then I don't know Avengers, and then it's like Tony's so dead, and then just walk away.
Just talk about a different story and just pretend like it's Endgame. Talk about a comic book story or like arc or whatever.
It's just like, I mean, come on. Hey, man, listen. I mean, I'm sorry. If you're that worried about spoilers, you should have gone and seen it. And if you're haven't seen it because of ABC reason, you have to accept this risk. Stay home. Do not leave your home.
Yeah, you can't trust it. You can't look on the internet. You can't trust anybody. The second that movie came out, you just had to. And that's the world we live in, and it's unfortunate, but man.
Hey, some people were sending other spoilers over DMs.
Yeah, which is so rude. And honestly, you can't go out anywhere because I heard people like, I felt so bad people that were working this weekend and couldn't go see it right away because people would come to their stores they're working at or whatever and just openly talk about it. And what can you do?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but the thing is, like, I'm understand that this can happen, but you can't stop people from talking. You know, like talking about amongst their friends. At that point, keep your ears to yourself.
Although I will say, friends don't spoil Endgame for each other.
That's true. You know.
Yeah, and I was glad that in our Omnibus Collectors group, Papa Jess came down on everyone. I've never seen
around that band hammer.
Two people got banned, so you know.
He took the sacrifice.
Yeah, so we had to kind of like. Well, I didn't see any of that because I'm like, you're on your own, people, and then I bailed out. So, but yeah. Anyway, one thing though, like I am kind of interested to know, how do you think if X-Men and Fantastic Four are ever going to be incorporated in this world, or they're going? Do you think it's gonna become a different world?
I think you better wait at least 5 years before bringing another X-Men movie to me. I just think
it's one coming out, but
I know, but they've got to finish it and whatever. But after that, wait 5 years and then reboot it.
I think they're going to do that anyway because this has to be the last one.
They have to.
Like, it's really going downhill at this point.
Yeah.
So, like, I saw that trailer before Endgame, and I'm like, nah. And I love X-Men, and I'm like, nah. I don't care about any of those.
Because in front of our Endgame, there was 2 Phoenix trailer played, you know. The first one, my friend is like, ugh. The second one, my friend's like, okay, I'm not interested. I'm like, wait. The first didn't interest you. The second one did. I mean, it showed pretty much the same thing. She's like, I don't know. The second one interested me. I'm like, okay then.
They need to stop and fully reboot it.
I think they're gonna do that.
I really like Michael Fassbender.
Give me X-Men Evolution, the movie. It'll do way better.
What a dream.
But one thing I'm gonna say, that I really like Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Like that, I thought that he did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree.
But the thing is, like,
such some good people in that cast. It's just the story.
We don't have to go there. Yeah, we don't talk about
it. But they need to reboot it.
And I think Fantastic Four, you're gonna have to wait a little bit too. And maybe it's worth not. Maybe you don't introduce them with their own movie at first. Let them kind of tag along to the end or partway through another movie, and don't let them start with their own.
So you know where would be a best place, because Black Panther was introduced in Fantastic Four, issue number 51, I guess. I mean, nerds, help me out. So it would be kind of interesting to see if Black Panther 2, Fantastic Four is introduced. You know, it's kind of like a kind of like an Easter egg. Like,
I'd be fine with that, because I think that'll do. I just feel like that'll introduce them better than just here's a movie.
But don't you think it kind of brings a point? Where were they all this time?
I don't think you always have to make it like that. And you can always do something where it, like, they didn't get into power until recently. You know, they don't have to have always been there. This could be a very recent development.
Or they were stuck somewhere.
Yeah, and honestly, if you really wanted to argue it, just say that when we did all the time travel stuff, they messed up. Now there's some new things going on. You can do that. I mean, it's comic book science. Who cares?
Yeah.
And whatever they do is going to be better than what they have. So
yeah.
Can we then get back Chris Evans as Human Torch? I just want Chris Evans back.
I don't think so.
I think that would be confusing.
You think?
Now it's time for DC to try to snatch Chris Evans up.
As what?
Nothing. There's nothing there right now. I can't even think about that though. So
whatever Chris Evans gonna do in DC, I'm gonna start reading that comic book. Just one thing I'm gonna say though, having been reading so many modern Marvel comics over the last couple of years, paid up big time for me. I thought that a lot of the things were there. I was like, ooh, especially the whole Hail Hydra. My geek heart stopped skipping.
Yeah, same.
I'm like, oh, I know where this is from. And then also that Rhodey and Carol sharing a look. I'm like, oh, I don't like this, but okay, I know where that is from. So many things. I was like, yay. I thought it was really nice.
I agree.
Guys, I want a Professor Hulk movie now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I want.
Right. So who's like, what's the void? Like that's also something that didn't kind of got talked about. What happens to Avengers now? Who are the Avengers now?
I don't know. Maybe they won't need them for a while.
I think they broke up.
I wish there was like a montage. You know how the montage was happening, that Black Panther in Wakanda, all the people, like, you know, and then Tony's thing was being like, I wish there was something like a new Avengers thing started, and we saw like, you know, some people just walk in there or something like that to show that, okay, these are the people that are starting next.
I think they can do that later, because I think, you know, eventually, if should they want to do that, there's a whole slew of legacy characters they could bring in. It doesn't have to be all legacy characters; it can be some older ones too. But there's a lot of options they can go with.
Right.
With some new blood, because they're already, you know, it's kids right now already know all of these younger characters. They're already watching stuff with Miss Marvel and Squirrel Girl and Spider-Gwen and the rest of them.
Like, you know,
America Chavez, you know, like they already know because they're already on TV. So yeah, I don't know, I'm just rambling.
Okay. So anything else we want to add, subtract?
No. We're gonna get some more cleaning in before Game of Thrones.
What did we think about the time travel theory in here? Because this is a new time travel theory.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, who cares?
They had to do.
They had to do something. I like that they mentioned real movies.
Yeah.
That was fun.
No, but I think that was pretty neat though, because they were like, you know about time travel from these movies. I need you to forget about all of them.
Yeah, I'm glad they said that.
You know, yeah.
People didn't listen, but I'm glad they said that.
Yeah, I mean that's also another thing. I'm like, did you not watch the same movie? Like, what is happening right now? Who are you people with your dumb theories? You know, so. Yeah.
And I love the community cameos.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so good. Yvette Nicole Brown in the elevator with that look. That was
so good.
I love her. Like, she didn't even have to say anything, but she did. But it was so good.
No, but the thing is, like, you know, the whole thing, like, you know, Tony just kind of, you know, pushed himself. Like, it's like, oh, speaking of Tony, another thing, Howard Stark and Tony Stark reunion.
That was great.
Yeah, that was really good.
Did it make you feel anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had feelings for you.
And then I loved seeing him and Jarvis, and then I was excited about it. And then Omar was like, "Oh yeah, they're cool. Yeah, it's like real actors for them." And I was like, "They're the same actors from Agent Carter. You guys, did you not see it?" Like, no, we never watched it. I was like, "Come on, it's a part of this. It's important. It's valid too."
Speaking of being part of this, though, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. got shafted so bad.
Yeah, well, I never watched all of that, so I don't feel that bad about it. But I watched Agent Carter.
I didn't watch this, so therefore that's not part of it.
No, I watched
like what we know
of that. I just never I never finished catching up.
And the last thing, like this is because that's something that seemed to be everyone's burning question. So, Old Cap got married with Peggy.
Yeah.
You know, went back in time, got married with Peggy, and that's the husband she was talking about in Winter Soldier?
I don't think so.
Oh, then
that's a whole other timeline now. Like, that's not even...
Yeah, that's true.
That's not... Because this is how time works, remember?
Yeah. I still don't know. I mean, man, you knew her for 2 days. You shouldn't have, like... that.
Hey, listen, sometimes that's how love works for you, okay? Just because you haven't fallen in love with somebody immediately and then got married 2 days after doesn't mean...
Just because you weren't Britney Spears, it's fine. Like,
someday I'm gonna believe that. Hey, listen, there was like in my parents, like, you know, my mom and dad was an arranged marriage. So, you know, my mom was telling like kids these days they date for like years before they get married. I got married after like knowing your dad for 5 minutes. I'm like, you know, America will seem to agree with you, but anyway.
Well, I think the best way to end this is by telling everyone they should go to instocktrades.com and use the code ENDGAME. It ends tonight, so quickly do it. I know I'm going to place an order. Gives you an extra 3% off, and it's the best.
Yes, and the thing is, like, if you want to read, like, if you are feeling like Avengers deficiency as I am feeling, there's a boatload of Avengers trades, hardcovers, or all kinds of things that you can find in in-stock trades. Use the code Endgame, as Kristan said, and you can get free shipping over $50 or more. And you can get all kinds of different publishers, Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, Image, up to 42% off. Next week, what are we talking about next week?
It's Maddie and I, right?
Eisner.
Yeah, we're talking about the Eisner nomination.
That's what we're gonna
do. Okay, awesome. I don't think I will be able to join in. I'll try my best to join in, but and
it'll be next Saturday.
Yeah,
at an undisclosed time.
I guess morning. Want to do the morning? Ooh, coffee. Do a little breakfast. Okay.
Coffee with Maddie and Kristan. It's our new show.
Oh.
Can we do like a little community thing? Like,
I don't like this.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I don't like this.
How dare you have friend time and laugh without me?
We'll talk about Fariha. We'll talk about comics.
You know what? I'm going to have my coffee. And the thing is, like, the following show, we actually have been talking about doing this because Kristan and I did that show when Maddie was having fun in Japan. But we want to do this show, like Pet Peeves, talk about part 2 of that.
Oh, yeah.
Pet peeves and tropes. We're gonna combine that somehow together. So that's gonna be a fun show. We're really looking forward to it. I'm probably going to be screaming again, but
everyone loves that. That's why they tune in.
That's exactly the kind of reason you tune in. But anyway, so go. I'm glad you joined us today, and then watch Endgames again. I feel like I heard that they need some more money to make it profitable. So go give them more money and make it profitable. Watch it again.
They're not making any money off this movie.
So. And we are very optimistic about MCU going forward. I mean, we had complaints. I hope that in future these complaints are addressed and we see a little bit more, we see more representation and those kind of things. But this is an end of an era. We understand that it was a great movie that we loved, and it's now time for looking forward. And with that, let's just go and tune into Game of Thrones to see how many more Starks dies today.
Good one.
Have a good night. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.